Welcome to the wonderful world of color. Now, we really don't need to spend a lot of time here. This is not a class on color theory, but I do have a philosophy, and that is anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So give me a minute or two. Let's talk a little bit about color and how it relates to Adobe Illustrator. Remember that this is technical information, so please stay alert at all times. In a nutshell, Illustrator color spaces, the ones we're concerned with, are RGB additive, of course that's red, green, and blue, and CMYK subtractive, which is cyan, magenta, yellow, and then the press adds a fourth plate called black. RGB are defined as prime colors, primaries. Primary colors are not mixed. They create all the other colors. All the millions and zillions of colors that we see are somehow made with the primary colors of red, green, and blue. And you have, all the visible colors that we see come from those. In a computer, although this is becoming more of a debate on color, there are 16,777,216 possible color combinations that we can view on a monitor if it's a standard monitor. So we have a lot of color to work with in Adobe Illustrator. But what do we use them for? To me, that's why we're here. RGB, CMYK. What do we need them for? Well, number one, the RGB color space is for monitors. It's for televisions, mobile devices. It's made with the primary colors of red, green, and blue. Now, it's called additive color. The reason it's called additive color is if you mix 100% of red, green, and blue, you get pure white. But notice the intersections between the red and the green and the blue, and the blue and the red. Those colors are secondary colors. Secondary colors are formed by mixing two of the primaries, and those colors are cyan, magenta, and yellow. So the usage for CMYK would be for print, paper, okay? And we call that subtractive light. You've got three colors, and if you mix all three together, you take cyan, magenta, and yellow, you mix them all together, they absorb all the light spectrum and produce to our eyes black, and that's why it's called subtractive color. Let me show you one more thing real quick. All color has a gamut. Now, the gamut is the printable or the viewable area. That big area that you see is basically the visible spectrum. Inside there, I've got three triangles, and it's the gamut of the colors. You can work in a wide gamut range RGB, and you see that yellow. It's a pretty big area. But the area we typically work in is the sRGB. You can see that's smaller, and then there's the CMYK. All that means to us when we're working is we're working on an RGB monitor. But if we're going to print, we're working in the CMYK color space, and we may actually see more color than can be printed, and that comes with a little bit of experience and practice. That's about it. I think I've overstayed my welcome here. On to the next.